Well, we have a new world heavyweight champion. We have a new women's champion, and the internet is pissed at Cody Rhodes again. Hey guys, welcome to the 716 Sports Entertainment Podcast, where we are going to break down and review Saturday night's main event, which came to you guys live last night. And as I mentioned, it saw some title changes and it saw, the internet getting upset. But what else is new there? So thank you guys so much for joining us. As always, I am Mike, joined by Mr. Sean O'Neill, and it looks like you got something to say.
You forgot. There's also a Dominic Mysterio,
Yeah, the internet wasn't upset about that though. So
but you were.
I mean, I told you it was going to happen. I
I know.
mean, I am a 6 point leader now in our picks, but that's neither here nor there. You won't hear me mention that for the rest of the night. It might just go like this occasionally.
Hey, like I just said, I'm okay with it.
But yeah, let's talk about what the internet is upset about because the main show opened up with Cody Rhodes and Drew McIntyre going for their third match in under 2 months now for the undisputed WWE Championship. And this match had a stake in it, if which there was a disqualification or a count out that Cody would lose the title. And as we've known, right, McIntyre spent the last couple of weeks goading Cody into trying to get him to lose his cool, and basically kind of like goaded him into having this kind of setup for the match. So you knew something was going to happen, like going into this a little bit, and then at one point they tried to use the title as a weapon, and it got stopped, and then eventually the ending sequence saw Cody do a DDT onto the title and then hit the crossroads for the win. um, this was just obviously a Saturday night's main event, so there was no way Cody was losing the title here.
Nope.
Internet, it wasn't going to happen. Not on a show like this. I get it. People want Drew to win the title. I wouldn't have minded Drew winning the title, but it wasn't going to happen here. If it was going to happen, it was going to happen at Survivor Series at a stadium show. Like Cody's not going to lose the title at a small time show like this. It's just not going to happen. Plus, given that you had two other title changes, well, one obvious, right? Because we didn't have a champion, but everybody knew Jade was going to win too, right?
Yeah.
So, like, there was no way you were changing three titles on this one show. It just wasn't going to happen. So, for to all of the folks on the internet being super bent out of shape about this, knock it off. Like, seriously, knock it off. So that's my rant. But go ahead.
I I think the other thing that worked against the title change in this particular match is the fact that this wasn't a run like a normal Saturday night main event. If this would have been broadcast on network TV, they may have done it there too, because shock value on a bigger audience draws more people. You know what I mean? Um, but this just being on and or on Peacock and Netflix for all of our outside of the US viewers. You're right. There was no way they were going to change it. And honestly, the way they ended the match, I have no doubt Cody's going to argue that A, he didn't bring the title in, B, he didn't see it until afterwards, and C, Drew is going to argue that he deserves one more match because he was screwed again. And it's going to lead to some sort of like actual stipulation. You know what I mean? Like maybe a no DQ or like a Hell in a Cell or something stupid, something that it's just some sort of. I'm not saying one of those per se, but some sort of stipulation, and then I think it's all going to depend on how fast they're ready for Cody's next challenger, if it's going to be Fatu or who it's going to be. But I do think that um, Drew will probably get one more argument for one more chance.
Maybe he might. I mean, I think at that point, that's like if you're going to pull the trigger on the Randy Orton thing, that's when it is going to happen. And
Yep.
I'm starting to have my suspicions that Randy Orton was probably the one who attacked Jacob Fatu.
Yep.
So, I think that's probably where they're going to go with it. And I have a feeling, they're going to have to move on that probably sooner rather than later. Maybe you have Randy Orton win the Royal Rumble. I don't know. I still kind of think Braun Breaker should probably win the Royal Rumble. Like he should go the distance, come in at number one and win the whole thing.
I agree.
Uh, but yeah, I don't know. I just it just like it blew my mind because I was out initially and I didn't get the chance to watch like the whole show until a bit, later when I got home. And I was checking the internets and all I saw was people complaining about this match because this opened the show and everybody was completely bent out of shape saying that Drew is buried and all this other stuff. And people are so mad at the fact, that Cody beat him. And I'm just thinking to myself, first of all, Drew has been at the top of the card forever. You're not like you are. This is not a burial at all. Like Drew continually is in championship matches. He's perfectly fine. He wasn't going to win here. Like this is not the stage to do this. You do this at a bigger show than this. This is not a big show. This is a B-level show. You don't change your top title and give the guy the moment that he deserves at a B-level show. You do it at an A
Exactly.
show. Survivor Series is an A show. The Royal Rumble is an A show. Like that's when you change the title. WrestleMania, like people seem to have forgotten how many times people were bent out of shape. Like look at how bent out of shape they were when Drew didn't beat Roman Reigns at Clash at the Castle when it was in the UK a couple of years ago, right? Like I mean, it's
Yep.
a couple years ago, it's like 4 years ago now.
Yeah.
Uh, but still, you know what I mean? Like I get it. I want Drew to get his moment, and I think that he will. But just like you need to settle down a little bit, internet, because like this was not going to happen at this show. Just it was
Especially
not going to happen at this show.
especially considering that there's like four people at the top of the card on SmackDown, which we've talked about, and Drew is one of them. This is about as far from a burial as you can get.
Yeah.
Um, like we've been saying for weeks now, there is a talent issue on SmackDown because all the major people are on Raw, and I think that I think I said on our review of SmackDown last week that I was starting to lean towards Orton being the one who attacked Fatu. I don't think I don't think Orton needs to win the Rumble to get that challenge against Cody. I think that he can just call on their history and just like keep attacking him backstage or keep like honestly, if I'm WWE, I have Cody or I have Orton go after Cody's history. You know what I mean? And start trying to like tear Cody down. And then you get the match without having to win the Rumble. And I think Drew 100% is still going to be at the top of the card one way or another.
Sure.
Um, so it's honestly, I didn't bother going on the internet because I knew people were going to be bitching and moaning about this. And we all know that wrestling Twitter is
The
can be an
worst.
absolute cesspool. That's probably the second worst thing next to Reddit. Um, and it's not even worth getting upset by a lot of these opinions because they get so emotional that they don't think about how this is real, what reality is here.
Well, I mean, I don't even want to like stress that I was upset about it. I was just more shocked, like that was the narrative. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, it just blows my mind, but I guess it is what it is. And we've definitely said enough about this, and I don't think this was a burial to Drew.
No.
However, getting to the next match, I do think the next match was a burial. I absolutely do. The next match being Tiffany Stratton versus Jade Cargill. I mean, this match went what, 6 minutes, 7 minutes? And I mean, Jade just tossed her around the entire time. I mean, Tiffany got a little bit of offense, but I mean, this match was just Jade killing her. I
I
mean,
was not happy.
Jade took like 80% of this match, I would say. And I get it that they were trying to sell the injury, to Tiffany's knees. Like I get that, but I don't know. We all knew that this was going to happen. We all knew that Jade was going to win. So I guess I'm fine with it. But I don't know. What are your thoughts on this match? And then I guess let's talk about where we go from here.
So who's the woman that they had the confidence behind to beat Charlotte Flair in this match? I'm just going to ask a couple questions for you. Who's the woman who has held the title for almost an entire year now? And it just, I don't like the way they buried her. I think that you were so behind Tiffany and you were pushing her. She is huge over with the crowd. All I can think is that the knee injury that they were pushing, I'm wondering if she actually does have some sort of injury that she needs to be taken off for a little while. Is the only reason why I could think that they had this match go the way that it did. Because there's no reason that Jade should have dominated this match. We've already seen these two fight, and Jade didn't dominate her the way that she did the last time on when they were one on one. And what changed? You know what I mean? Other than Jade is now allegedly a heel. Like, and I'm assuming that they want to do Bianca versus Jade. This, I'm predicting it now. And mind you, this isn't me being a terrible person here, we'll say. But I think that this title run is going to be an absolute failure. I do not think Jade has besides the look, I don't think Jade has what she needs to be the main title holder. She can't, her wrestling skills aren't great. She is not the safest. She is not the smoothest. And her promo skills are, to put it bluntly, ass. Like,
So I'm going to challenge you on a couple things. I think the first is they brought her in as a face, and she's
yeah,
pretty much been a face the entirety of her WWE run. And correct me if I'm wrong, but when she was in AEW, she was a heel. And
uh, she was more like a middle of the line person.
she works better as a heel, I think is my point. And I think that's what you need to do with her, frankly. Kind of give her almost the Brock Lesnar treatment in a little bit, where you just kind of have her not say very much and just have her kill people. And I think that's honestly what they need to do if they kind of want to revitalize her image a little bit, is talk less and kill more, right? Like just have people come out and just have her smoke through a bunch of people, right? Like, Michin, Zelina Vega, B-Fab, like the entirety of the women's SmackDown roster, right? Nia Jax, we're going to get that one, right? And it will all lead up to her match with Bianca, who will probably win the Elimination Chamber again, right? Like, I mean, that's the match. That's the one we're going to do. It'll be her and Bianca. And then, watch Naomi return, right? Like at WrestleMania. And then, we'll build towards that match at SummerSlam, right? Like that's probably what will happen because, they still have their unfinished business as well. So, I mean, although, Naomi could, try and get her title back from Stephanie, which maybe we'll do that, maybe we won't, and who knows when Naomi's going to come back, if she comes back at all. But I mean, the match that we're initially going to see with Jade is Bianca. Like that's the big match they're going to build towards.
Charlotte.
Maybe. Yeah, I mean, when Charlotte loses those tag titles, but that might be a while because,
Yeah,
you still got to do the story with her and Alexa and all that other stuff whenever they break up. But
because
yeah, they'll probably do something with her and Charlotte eventually.
they already teased it at one point. The problem is, so I'm going to challenge you a little bit back. I'm going to refer to it not as the Lesnar treatment, but as the Goldberg treatment. And the reason why you give somebody the Goldberg treatment is because it's hiding a lot of other flaws. You know what I mean? Bill Goldberg was 200-0, which we all know that was inflated numbers. He was actually what, like 60-0, something stupid like that.
Yeah.
Because he was put in the ring with terrible people, and even when he was put in the ring against people who weren't quite as bad, his matches lasted what, all of 2 minutes? And you give Jade this treatment where she comes in and just crushes people in fast amount of times. It's going to get old because she doesn't really have the chutzpah that Bill
But
Goldberg had, like that aura that Goldberg had. Um, she doesn't have it, and I don't know that. I mean, AEW tried it with her when they had her have that massive TNT title run that's now only being overshadowed by the world's second greatest wrestler, Mercedes Moné. But um, it just, I will give her a chance, is what I'm saying, as a heel. But I don't trust that she has what it takes, no matter what WWE does to try to push her.
yeah. I'll give you that. I think as far as Tiffany is concerned, I think she's just going to be off TV for a while. I bet we probably don't see her until the Royal Rumble. Maybe she'll come out and she'll get her rematch and then she'll lose or something like that, and then get written off of TV. But I would imagine Tiffany's probably going to be done for a little while. I would think. I
After
think they're
almost
going
a
to,
year.
yeah, I would think they're going to give her a break a little bit, and maybe you don't see her again until the Royal Rumble.
Like I said, I'm curious if she actually had some sort of injury that they wanted to write her off with the way that she was dominated. Because like that was it, two power bombs into a Jaded, like, and then just done. It was, yeah. I may have picked Tiffany to win just because I was trying to make up some points here randomly, but I even told you during our preview show that Jade was winning this. But I don't think any of us could have predicted it to have been the utter domination that it was.
Yeah, agree. No, that's fair. So after weeks of frustrating both Penta and Rusev, we finally get a triple threat for the Intercontinental Championship between Dirty Dominic Mysterio and Penta and Rusev. And Rusev dominated a lot of this match in the beginning. He's really just kind of unloading on everybody, and it was fun. There was a bunch of like really fun moments in there. With Rusev locking in the accolade at one point on Penta, and then he hears the bell ring and thinking that he won, only to see that it was Dom ringing the bell. That was funny. I laughed at that. Which obviously that led to the ending sequence where Dom brought the hammer into the bell hammer into the match. Penta attempted to use it, but he hit Rusev, and then this allowed Dominic to deliver the frog splash on Rusev to score the win. The match itself was good. I mean, it just Dominic is so over right now. He's
Yep.
so over with the crowd right now. And again, like I was saying with the Cody match, although if you didn't have two other title changes on this card rather, this would have been a good opportunity to change the title
Yeah.
here. But yeah, I just don't see it happening here. These two guys are going to go off and do something different. And then the rumor is right now that John Cena and Dominic are going to have a match at Survivor Series, and Cena might actually be the one to beat him for the title, and then that winner of that tournament will get the IC title.
I think that's a mistake. Um, I think that this match, the biggest thing that surprised me was the fact that there wasn't any outside interference. Um, like you and I had talked
Yeah,
about it,
not
and we
not in the whole show. Not in the whole
no,
show.
nope, none from anything. And this and the main event, I figured would have had something. But Dominic, so WWE has a Dominic problem. Dominic is whoever beats him for that title, which is why I think it's a mistake if they have Cena do it, is it's going to be huge for whoever that is because Dom has held this cheating for as long as he has, and Dom is as over as he is. But then the other problem they have is Dom is set to have probably the biggest face turn in like decades in the WWE, and WWE needs to make sure they don't screw that up. Honestly, I have Dom hold the title until he turn face, and then have a heel beat him immediately after turning face, and then go into some sort of feud off of that. Because then that gives that heel a super big pop, like not pop, but push, because they beat him right after this giant face turn, and it builds sympathy for Dom too. Because how do you have sympathy for Dom right now with the way he's cheating? You know what I mean?
No, you don't. But I mean, the people love him the way they loved Eddie, right? Like he's
True.
still not Eddie, but like Eddie was never really a good guy per se, right? Like Eddie operated in the gray a lot,
Yeah.
So I mean, Eddie did have a couple of really big moments where the crowd was huge behind him, but Eddie was never like a raw white meat baby face.
Yeah.
So
Dom will never live up to his dad's legacy as lying, cheating, and stealing the most.
right.
Um, but as far as this match goes, honestly, with how good, I mean, Penta and Rusev both look fantastic.
Oh
I
yeah.
think I think Penta and Dom continue their feud, but I think Rusev should challenge Punk. I think Rusev should be one of Punk's first challengers. Like, as long if we're gonna keep the vision away from him for a little while, depending on how that story goes, like if we want some like intermediary feuds, I would use Rusev. I think that'd be fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I could see that. It'll be very interesting to see where all of this goes. I think, like, I was surprised Liv didn't come back here, but I think that's probably where you saved it. Like, I think I'm really starting to think when Liv does come back, I think she's going to turn on Dom. And I think that that might lead to your face turn, right?
Yeah.
And, maybe she helps whoever beat him. Then, yeah, it wouldn't make sense if it was Cena. But, maybe whoever it ends up being, if it's Finn Balor or something like that, like maybe she helps Finn Balor be the one to beat Dom or something like that, Who knows? Who knows where it's going to go? But I gotta think that Liv's return is imminent.
It would be hysterical if it was like JD McDonough. Because obviously Liv is going to come back and be like, oh, well, what was going on with you and Roxanne? You know what I mean?
Right, exactly. Which will lead to all sorts of stuff and probably, folks going in different directions on the Judgment Day. Like
Yeah.
we'll have Judgment Day A and Judgment Day B, a little bit there. So mentioning John Cena, before the main event, John Cena announced that there will be a 16-person tournament before our, leading up to his final match at the December 13th Saturday night's main event. No brackets were officially announced. However, it's going to involve superstars from Raw, SmackDown, NXT, and a couple of folks who are outside of the company, allegedly. They did announce that Solo Sikoa, Sheamus, Dominic, Gunther, Carmelo Hayes were in the picture. So, it's likely that all of them will be in it. We've been speculating for a while that it's going to be Gunther, probably. But we could do a lot of fun stuff with this. And I really hope that like this is fun, right? Like more than anything else, I hope when these brackets show up, it's not just like no surprise, right? Like, I want to see something interesting like in the first round. Like I want to see like Gunther and like Solo Sikoa or something like that, right? Like in the first round. Or I want to see like, Dom and like Drew McIntyre in the first round. Like I want to see have fun with this a little bit because this is going to be like a big deal. Like this will be, the final match for one of the greatest to ever do it. So like make this worthwhile and make it fun. And I hope whoever it ends up being, I hope that they do a good job with it. And, we mentioned offline that, we think maybe we'll see Matt Cardona or Dolph Ziggler or, some other guys come back as well. And sorry to break it to you, internet, but Edge and Chris Jericho are not going to be in this. As fun as that would be, I mentioned this to you offline, and I'll give you a chance to talk here in a minute after this. But it was just like, what would be the point, right? If Edge came back for this, other than the nostalgia of Edge and Cena having a match, like, what would be the point of Cena's final match being a guy who's not with the company anymore, and then, frankly, who's probably also relatively close to done wrestling as well, right?
That's right.
Like, so as cool as it would be if we were going to do a match with Edge, we should do that match beforehand.
You're not wrong. It's all bringing in somebody from AEW would do is be for nostalgia factor, and people would expect them to like win, and that doesn't do anything for them because they're not with the company, and B, they're old.
Yeah.
Honestly, if I'm WWE and I am doing this talk about who like people outside to bring in, I would bring a couple surprises. So like I expect most of them to be from like TNA because of their working relationship with TNA. I'm sure we're going to do a show guessing on some of these people, but you want a real swerve in there? Have one of them be Karrion Kross. I think that would be awesome. I mean, you just because they are there's plenty of people out there who are not with major companies anymore that you could bring in. You could bring in like I said, Karrion Kross. You could bring in is I know he's probably terrible right now, and I don't know if he's still with AEW or not, but if Big Show wasn't with AEW anymore, I would. I mean, it was
Well,
Cena's first title win was over Big Show.
yeah.
Like there's a lot of historical things. Hell, if Mark Henry could still go, I'd randomly throw him in there against somebody because he had that crazy feud when Mark Henry came out and acted like he was retiring and then beat the hell out of Cena. Like there's some, and I doubt that's what they do, but I'm just using it as a point. There's some real fun callbacks to Cena's history that you could do here,
Mhm.
and I think that would be real great. And honestly, in WWE, you know who else I put into this tournament? Bo Dallas as Uncle Howdy. I would throw him as one of the matches.
So we probably won't see him given what's going on with his father right now.
Oh wait,
Um,
what?
yeah, it sounds like Mike Rotunda may be on his way out.
Oh,
They announced the other day that he got put into hospice, so it's
I
not
hadn't heard
looking
that.
yeah, it's not looking too good for IRS Mike Rotunda. But yes, we might not see him for a little while. I wouldn't imagine, given
Well,
everything going on with that family. Prayers out to,
turns out, yeah, to the Rotundas.
but but yeah, no, you're right though. I mean, there's so many different directions they can go with this, and I hope that they make it fun. Like, you may have mentioned this, but we'll probably see Joe Hendry, right?
Yep.
Given how he's called him out and stuff like that too. So, it's gonna start, I think, the week after next on Raw, and it will go all the way through, to the finals, probably leading up on that SmackDown right before the Saturday night's main event.
Give me Oba Femi in it.
I was just thinking that too. I would love the final to be Gunther and Obafemi.
Yeah, I would 100% be okay with that.
That'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah,
You have Obafemi come out and like
look
just
good.
kill a bunch of people. That would be fun. That would be a lot of fun.
And we haven't seen him on NXT in a while, so I'm
Now
wondering if
since he lost his title, yeah.
yeah. So I'm wondering if they're saving him for a call up at some point here. And honestly, what better place to introduce him to the main roster?
Mhm. And then have him come out and have a barn burner of a match with Gunther. Like,
Yeah,
let him go 30 minutes.
and have Gunther choke him out and have him not like tap.
Yeah, yeah. That would be awesome. It'd be a great way to get him over too, because he's another one who's going to be a future world champion as
Yep.
well. He's incredible. He is just awesome, and I think he's relatively young too, which another
Yeah.
kind of future of the company kind of guy, right? Like they've done a great job with him, although they do a great job with a lot of people in NXT, but they've done a great job with him, and I really hope that whatever momentum they give him, this would be a great opportunity for him going into the onto the main roster, I
Oh
think.
yeah.
And what a great way to like present him as just like the next big thing.
Yep.
So this led us to the main event, where we saw CM Punk become the new WWE World Heavyweight Champion. Uh, Punk dominated this match pretty early. Hit a GTS on hit several GTSs on Uso, but Uso kicked out of several of them. Uso did have a nice spot where he speared him through the barricade. But it kind of never seemed like Punk was going to lose here. I think
Yeah.
watching this whole match, it felt like this was Punk's to win. This was going to be his crowning moment. The one thing I will say, I mean, it was Punk did deliver kind of a really half-ass spear, like halfway through this match, which kind of sucked a little bit. But I don't know if it was just me while I was watching this, but Jey Uso kind of just looked really sloppy during this match,
He
like a
did.
lot. And I was just kind of thinking, like, he did not look good at all. And I don't know, like, what the deal was. And maybe I'm just getting a little fatigued by Jey Uso. But yeah, I mean, I think it was the right thing to have Punk win here. But I don't know. What are your thoughts?
To bring a point to what you just said about Jay, did you catch the point where he screwed up the neck breaker Punk went to do, and then Punk kicked him in the head afterwards? Like there was a point earlier in the match where Punk went to hit him with his signature neck breaker, and which is an easy move. Like it's not like it's like a neck breaker; it's a crazy move. Jey Uso's taken them probably about a billion times. He completely botched it. Punk turned around him and kicked him in the head. Um, But like, I think part of it is you're right. It is Jey Uso fatigue. And if they're going to do anything with him and this heel turn, they need to pull the trigger on it sooner rather than later because the fatigue is going to overwhelm everybody. Um, I think the lack of any sort of outside interference here hurt this match. And I'm real disappointed by the effort that was put out by Vacant. I expected them to defend their title a little bit more wholeheartedly. But no, you're 100% right. This was Punk's match to win. Um, the the spot where they did like 30 finishers in a row felt very New Japan-esque with the kickouts, but and not something you really see a whole lot in WWE. And I wasn't really a super big fan of that. Overall, this match was okay to me. Like it wasn't anything super great. But I know in my case that's definitely because I'm sick of Jay.
So where do we go from here with these two?
I think that Roman has to call Jay out for screwing up again, and it leads to whatever Bloodline 2.0 storyline they're telling there. And that Punk is going to get Braun, um, which I'm not really. Is that match Monday or when was that? Did they say when that match is going to be?
They didn't say what it was going to be.
Okay,
I
just so
mean,
it's he's just the number one contender now, Braun.
he's not like I don't. You really think he's just going to straight Punk is just going to straight drop the title like right away?
No,
Because I
that's my
don't.
point. Is I don't know how they book that correctly. You know what I mean? Like you have Braun and you want Braun to be um still looking strong. All I can think of is that you have LA Knight cost him the match. Because Jay's got to be going to do whatever he's doing with Roman. He has to. Like they have to pull the trigger on this. Um and that leaves us with just LA Knight.
Hear me out on this. This is
Okay.
this is what you do because they want to do this match, right? And I think maybe you need to delay this a little bit and probably until after Survivor Series, I think, because I think you need to do some kind of vision thing. And I think you need to probably bring Brock Lesnar back in a little
Yeah.
bit. But I think you do this match at the Saturday night's main event that Cena is going to do his retirement match out.
Okay.
And you have Brock Lesnar cost him. And then you get the match between Brock and Braun, to which you maybe can do a series of matches, and then you have Braun go over, right? Braun can win the first one by some bullshit. Brock can win the second one, and then Brock like they'll do a trilogy of matches. Braun wins the first, Brock wins the second, Braun wins the third, and the closeout match, like he did with Cody.
So that does make sense too, because you need Brock for whatever's going to go on with the Vision thing.
Yep.
And you, if you have the Vision lose at Survivor Series,
Brock can beat
that
Tez.
that's good enough reason for Brock to attack Braun because he's mad
Yep.
at the new leader of the Vision, and so he takes it out on him. I could see that's actually a really good way of doing it.
And that's how
And
you
have
keep
Brock
Braun away
cost
from the
him.
title for a little while, right? Like
Yeah,
you can keep Braun away from the title probably all the way up until WrestleMania at that point.
honestly, I would do it past Mania because I would have the final match of Braun Brock at WrestleMania.
Yeah, as like a Hell in a Cell or something.
Something vicious.
Hmm. Yeah. So I think that's probably how this is going to go. Or you could just have Brock, you could have him, Braun could have his match with CM Punk on like a random episode of Raw, and then you just have Brock cough him
Yeah.
after Survivor Series.
Yes, it has to be after Survivor Series. It can't be before. And which Survivor Series is what, the last weekend of the month?
It's in like 4 weeks from yesterday, I think.
Oh, okay. And then when is the Saturday Night Main Event? Like 2 weeks after that?
2 weeks after that. Yeah.
Okay. And then we go like a month and a half without anything, right?
There's a Saturday night's main event at the end of January, and then right the weekend right after that is the Royal Rumble.
Why bother doing it?
I don't know.
WWE needs to stop with some of this shit. Like, I don't understand why they feel the need to do so many shows. Go back, if you want to do so many shows, go back to just doing one a month. Like, go on a consistent basis, do it at the same time in the middle of every month. Like, then you can use that to tell cohesive storytelling.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the one thing is you won't have all of your titles defended. Obviously, at the Saturday night's main event in January, it'll basically be whatever matches are not going to get put on the Royal Rumble, right?
Yeah,
Like that's what it's going to end up being, and it's honestly probably a good thing, right? Like because you won't have both titles defended on the Royal Rumble, you'll have one of them
yeah,
defended on the Royal Rumble. So like that's probably how you do it because I think this year is the year the Royal Rumble is in Saudi Arabia anyway, right?
yep,
So honestly, it's probably a perfect way to like, I mean, I know Punk went there last year, but it's probably a perfect way to not have Punk go there then. You know
yeah,
what I
true.
mean?
Valid point. Since we know his opinion of that
Yeah,
agreement.
of everything there, right? So
Yeah.
anyway, that was our show. So what's your final rating for the last of the 1st of November edition of Saturday Night's Main Event?
They give it a Saturday night main event out of five, which is my usual 3 out of 5 because that's all I ever give these. I don't think that I don't even classify these as PLEs. I just could they're basically just another they're basically what AEW does with their title Saturday shows when they have those every couple months.
Yeah, no, I would agree with you. I think this was a fine show. I mean, very safe show, right? Like, there was nothing crazy that happened on this show. I think all the people that everybody expected to win, won, and the wasn't a great build and there wasn't much anticipation for the show, but it was fine. It was a good watch, and maybe we could benefited from one more match.
Yep.
But that's okay. So I would say I agree with you. I think my final rating for the show is a Post Malone out of 5. So
He loves WWE. My God.
does love
And how about
WWE.
that Pauly Shore sighting?
Yeah.
I love me some Pauly Shore.
So that was our show, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. As always, hit us up in the comments down below. We read and respond to every one of them, and we appreciate it. And have yourselves a fantastic NFL Sunday, and take care.